So there was recently an article talking about how there was a rumor that the Daytona 500 may be moved. Again, nothing was written in stone, but it was a rumor. But it got me and a few of my friends thinking, what if the Daytona 500 wasn't the first race of the season? An odd question for sure, but I think it would be one that's worth the time to ponder. Now, I want to start off by stating that I do think the 500 should stay at the first race of the season, but it's just my personal belief. Personal beliefs really don't matter in this conversation, in my opinion. I have to ask, why does the Daytona 500 have to be the first race? Is it written as a rule or something that I'm just not aware of? The Daytona 500 wasn't the first race of the season from its inaugural running in 1959 up through the 1981 running of the race. That means 23 straight years of the Daytona 500 were not run as the first race of the season. Great moments like Petty and Pearson going at it in 1976 and the fight in 79 happened without the race being the first of the season. I think it proves that NASCAR will not be in disarray if Daytona is not the first race of the year. NASCAR was here before the Daytona 500 existed. It's been here before it was the first race of the season. And if NASCAR ever elected to do so, it would be around for a long time after changing Daytona from the first race of the year. Many would bring up the point that it might mean the end of speed weeks, but there could be a solution to that might make people happy. Make the Daytona road course the first race of the season. Make it the week before the 500 maybe if you have to preserve speed weeks being in Daytona. Especially if the Clash is taken off the schedule, it'd be a good way to get some good racing in before the big one. Also, it could give fans another road course that they so desperately say they want. Now, one problem the 500 has that takes away from it is the weather. The biggest race of the season can be prematurely ended, or it can be postponed for hours and even days at times. While this may make for memorable races like 2012 and 2014, it ultimately hurts NASCAR. Why? Because TV ratings will go down. Whether we like it or not, the ratings determine how accessible the sport is to us. And it also doesn't matter what the media, fans, or even drivers say. The Daytona 500 is the most important race of the season for the sport. It sets the tone for the year for both the competition as well as for viewership and TV ratings. Rarely does a 500's TV ratings compared to the previous year differ to what the full season looks like with TV ratings. If the 500 is up, the season usually is up. If the 500 is down, usually the season is down. It's part of a broken business model where the sport sees that the TV ratings slowly drift away as the season goes on, making the biggest race the first, having the biggest audience in the first. Possibly moving the 500 to a race maybe a few weeks into the year or even a little further into the year might be a way to gain hype before the race, have the big rating, and then keep that hype after the race for a longer time into the season. It could spark an overall increase in viewership. Again, it'll probably never happen, but it's an interesting thing to think about. So what do you think? Let me know down below, and until next time, have a good one.